Another commonly used cot in Western Australia is the GE Panda Warmer, and you can see it's a slightly different shape. In preparation for a resuscitation or a birth, of course, we have to undergo our 5 moments of hand hygiene. In continuation of our preparation for resuscitation, we need to make sure our equipment is on. We turn it on at the wall. A second switch is at the back of the cot, just here. And our third switch controls the onboard computer. You'll notice that the light immediately came on. So while the computer's going through its checks, we can check that our light can dim, which is perfect. It goes down and can go quite bright. And we can also make sure that the directional light, which we use for procedures, works as well. So that's really nice if you want to put a line in or something like that. You can direct it exactly in the right spot. Okay. Once the warmer has gone through its own checks, you'll see this initial screening that says warmer, and you've got the heater output going to 100%. It's in warm-up mode. And you'll see admit baby flashing, and up in the right-hand corner, we've got the APGAR on-off button. Once the baby's body is born, or on the wards when the baby's body reaches the warmer, we will turn on the APGAR clock. At the moment we're not at 7 minutes, so it's still warming up. By turning on the APGAR clock, you can see the display here on the screen. It immediately turns the heater output to 100%. Now, this warmer gets very, very warm, and it can be too warm for the baby. So use your judgment, and maybe after about 5 minutes, have someone just turn the heater output down. Okay, because otherwise the baby will overheat, and that's equally a problem. The final things that are relevant on this screen are the oxygen saturation, and this brand of cot actually has an inbuilt oxygen saturation probe. So you've got it here, and when you're ready to use it, you can turn it on. I'll just turn it off for the moment. The other buttons will have trends, and you can set up your oxygen saturation as well. You'll notice when you turn it on, it has an inbuilt scale, but during a resuscitation, it's not the time to be weighing your baby. The T-piece ventilator is gas dependent, so we need to turn the oxygen on, which is at the back of the column. This, we're very fortunate, is visible at the front. We can see the level of the oxygen cylinders, and that's certainly more than 3/4 full, so we're happy with that. And the air is more than 3/4 full, so we're happy with that as well. The first part that we will check is the suction, so above the dial. We turn the suction on by switching the toggle switch on, and we'll occlude the tubing. We'll then use the suction dial and rotate it clockwise to adjust the pressure to what we require. So a small baby, say less than 1,500 grams, wouldn't require much more than 80 millimeters of mercury. You can see 80 millimeters here. And our larger baby, no more than 100 millimeters of mercury, which is here. We leave that on, and then turn the toggle switch off. It will remember our settings. So we turn it off so that we don't use too much gas during the resuscitation, and all it requires is us to flick the lever and we're ready to go. Now we're down below the grey line. We're actually on the ventilation component. This side here is related to, so this little bit here, is related to the gas supplied to our bag and mask. But first up, we're going to check the settings for the T-piece itself. So we need to turn the toggle switch on. You take the T-piece, you occlude the ventilation outlet, and you occlude the PEEP valve. So put my thumb over there. It'll come with a little cap on it, so you don't actually have to hold it like that. Our oxygen setting will be 30% in keeping with the WA addendum. And then we need to increase the flow from 0 up to 8 litres again. This indicates here, look at the manometer, look at the flow. So we've got a flow of 8 litres. And nothing's moved yet, but what we've got to do now is use this PIP dial, so the inspiratory dial, turn it clockwise so we achieve the pressures which are visible on the manometer for our particular baby. So I'm going to turn it up slowly. Now we've got 25 centimeters of water for a baby who is 33 completed weeks or less. If I turn it up a bit more, I've got 30 centimeters of water for a baby who's 34 weeks or more. If I do require a greater amount of pressure, I need to continue to turn the PIP dial in a clockwise direction, but I'm going to need to depress the yellow pressure lever. And this will go past it, and you can see there I'm getting more pressures, and this one will only go up to 45 centimeters of water, but that's a factory setting and I can't actually adjust it any further. To decrease the pressure, all I need to turn now is the dial in an anti-clockwise direction. I don't have to depress that lever again. You hear the click and it's back to 30 centimeters of water. At the moment, if you look at the manometer, it's on 0, but if we turn it in a clockwise direction towards the positive, I'm turning it up, and you watch the dial and you can see it turning up or turning back down again. And we are now on 5 centimeters of water, which is what the WA addendum says. And then we just want to verify our settings. We occlude the T-piece and release, and occlude and release a few times, and then we're happy that our setting is correct. If the birth is not imminent, we should turn off the gases to conserve them. We'll turn off the flow and turn off the toggle switch. And everything's gone back to 0, and that will conserve our gases for the resuscitation